Hello all, and welcome back to my channel. Today we will be... Audio is hard. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. Today we will be covering the Kanto region, how it applies to Pokemon Rewritten. How these videos will work is they will be split up into 7 parts, per se. What the region was inspired by, the culture, international or interregional relations, locations, aka how the important towns and cities change, the evil team, the legendaries, and the role of the mythicals. Just in case, just so people don't forget, this will be mentioned in every video. But I hope I actually remember that. Anyway, the Kanto region is based on, obviously, the Kanto region in Japan. It's the most populated region in the real-life country of Japan. Why did I say it like that? Anyway, it's inspired by the most populated region in Japan, the Kanto region, obviously. Well, as you can see, in the beginning of the drawing, it was originally gonna be, like, drawing the sprite for Rewritten for Dylan's channel. I draw all of his sprites, including my own. I drew his sprite, and I drew my own sprite, so I figured it'd be appropriate to draw Rewritten and Pip as well. But I'll probably save that for another time. Anyway, so now that I've mentioned inspiration, I should mention culture. Kanto is known for its innovation in the canon, and in, well, the anime and manga. It's actually stated that the modern-day Pokédex, not the one in Legends Arceus, was invented in the Kanto region. So I made Kanto very solar punk, very environmentally friendly, but also very innovative. Think of it how Walt Disney would want Tomorrowland or Epcot. Very innovative and also very nature-loving. That's basically the entire culture. In terms of other regions, Kanto gets along with the other 3 Japanese regions, but it mostly gets along best with the Johto region. You know this because they were basically the same region in ancient times, until what I call Pokemon Legends Celebi, where Kanto and Johto became 2 different regions because of Red's ancestor, who I'm currently naming Crimson, but that's an in-progress story I haven't fully thought out yet. Anyway, it gets along fine with Sinnoh and Hoenn, but they do work together because of, Silph Co. and such. It gets along alright with everyone else because of history. Like traditional Japan, they at some point wanted more land, but now they just realize that they can just build land or make land masses using technology like what Dubai does in real life. But they get along just fine. Not very many wars have been fought over territory, surprisingly. They're cats, they try to maintain the peace. More detail on that in another video. First up is the hometown of Red and Blue, Pallet Town, or as I call it, Masara Town, because frankly they used the wrong version of Pallet in the canon English version, and I don't like it. Anyway, Masara Town is obviously the hometown of Red and Blue. Ash does exist, but he is technically an actor, and the Pokemon anime is just a live-action TV show, one that is way too popular and people try to ignore. This is based on my own preconceptions of the anime, by the way, not anyone else's. Masara Town is generally a fishing town. I figure Masara Town is a fishing town because of its proximity to water. Obviously, since it's very close to water, there would be a lot of fishing and boating there. I think of it like Tacoma, my technically hometown. I grew up in the Tacoma area, but I was born in Illinois, but it's more my hometown because I spent like 10 years there. That's not the point of this video. But the point I'm trying to make is, it's a very water-based town, which is weird because Red apparently has a deep phobia of the ocean. He's thalassophobic, but more detail in his video, which will come out whenever I decide to actually make the damn video. There is the basics of a small town, like a small shop, a couple of schools, etc., etc. If you've seen a small town in an anime, you know what Masara Town looks like. Meridian City is called Tokiwa City, Yes, I am basing the names on the Japanese names because I like them better. It's the main head of operations for Team Rocket because obviously Giovanni is gym leader there, but we will get into more detail later on in the video. Part 5, I believe. As I was saying, Tokiwa City is mostly known for the trainer school. As you'll know in the Red and Blue games, the trainer school is located in Viridian, or in this case, Tokiwa City. The reason I mention the trainer school is because it actually is a full-blown K-12 academy called the Green Hill Academy. Yes, an obvious Sonic the Hedgehog reference. Fun fact, it actually used to be the Green Hill Military School. Yeah, it used to be a military school. A very poorly run military school because bullying is still very prevalent, but what school isn't dealing with a bullying problem? It's mostly known for its school and its gym. It is a very strict school, generally a military school. That's basically the entire highlight of Tokiwa City. Nibi City, or Pewter City as we know it, is a very, how do I put this, scientific city. It's known for its study of archaeology and, well, the general past, but generally paleontology and archaeology. Because it's, well, right next to Mount Moon, you know. It is very well, aside from its gym, it is very well known for its museum, which, yes, in-game you can, in fact, visit. Everyone there is generally very interested in this sort of stuff. But side note, isn't it kind of weird that there's a spaceship there that crashed in 2003? It's very weird, and it implies that the game either takes place near 2003 or shortly after that ship was launched. Anyway, Cerulean City, or Hanada City, is the hometown of 3 important characters: Red's mother, Blue's mother, and Blue's aunt, Misty. Yes, I made Misty Blue's aunt because of, well, basically Aria Flowers is Blue's mother. It's a character I made up for the sake of giving Blue, you know, a mother who does eventually die, but I will explain that in Blue's video. Basically, Hanada City is known for its water shows despite being landlocked. It's very weird. There doesn't seem to be much other information about Hanada City aside from, well, its gym and the mermaid shows, which I pulled straight from the anime. Moving on to Vermilion City. It is a port city. It's a major trade area. Basically, it's generally used for trade and such, all that fun stuff that's not very interesting, and I didn't really think out much because, well, I don't like thinking about that stuff because it's complicated and I don't know how money works. Anyway, its claim to fame is a gym with Lieutenant Surge, who I will go into more detail about later on in the Kanto series, which is basically just going to be going into detail about different characters and such. But basically, all I'm gonna say is Lieutenant Surge is a fucking liar. He is not a lieutenant. Not even properly in the military. He actually lived in Unova at first, and then moved to Kanto for ambiguous reasons. Next, Vermilion City is called Kuchiba City. I almost forgot to say that. Lavender Town is Shion Town, and it's a relatively small town, mostly known for its, well, death industry. There is Mr. Fuji, who's in charge of a Pokemon shelter, and then there's a Name Raider, and that's basically all there is there, aside from the apparent death industry. Sylvan City, or Tamamushi City, is basically the second largest city in Kanto, just like in the games. There is a department store, a gaming corner, and a mansion there. Erica is a really good person, generally. She's not, like, exclusive in terms of gender identity, though she is relatively suspicious around men. She's a lesbian, that's why. She doesn't want to get hurt. She also is apparently a part of a perfume company in the canon? I thought that was just in the anime. Oh, that is just in the anime. Fuchsia City, or Sekichiku City, is mostly known for its Safari Zone and its, well, Ninja Dojo. And it is heavily implied, or at least I'm gonna heavily imply that Koga is an arsonist. Yeah, Koga has burnt down an unknown number of houses and has killed some people. Saffron City, or Yamabuki City, is the largest city in Kanto, possibly Tokyo. It's mostly known for the Silph, but I'm sure there's other stuff to do in Kanto. Cinnabar Island or Guren Island. It's just an island, frankly. An island with a gem on it. There's an abandoned land and an abandoned mansion that are just stuff to do to pad out the gameplay. But almost the entire population ends up dead before the events of Gold and Silver, so. And that was basically all of the towns. I don't know why I spend so much time on this. I like detail in my writing. It'll be easier if I make entire videos about the cities though. Expect that later on. I'm gonna pause the speed paint real quick because, well, we're gonna be covering Team Rocket next. I think it all started when Giovanni was not doing so well for himself, so he just turned to a life of crime. I'd imagine it more like the origins of Lex Luthor, where his parents were poor as shit. He killed his parents, and then founded Team Rocket to try and fund an apparent, empire. Well, we all know how he was defeated. Red came along, wrecked their shit, and now they're trying to rebuild themselves. In Rewritten, it's unsuccessful because Red has spite, basically. They don't like each other. You should probably get back to the drawing because there's not much I can say about Team Rocket right now because I haven't fully thought it out yet. The only legendary in Kanto seems to be Mewtwo, aside from the legendary birds. The legendary birds don't really do anything. They're just there and control the weather, maybe. They are the creations of Lugia, apparently. But Mewtwo is, frankly, far more interesting. Mewtwo was made in a lab on Guren Island. I forgot what it was called for a minute there. Mewtwo is just also there. Doesn't really do much of anything, aside from try and kill people. Mew, however, is a lot more interesting. Mew was basically one of the first Pokemon creations of Arceus. I'm pronouncing it Arceus. Fight me. Actually, please don't. Mew helped aid the evolutionary process in terms of Darwinian evolution. Pokemon were having issues like growing and changing according to their environment, so Mew helped them. Aside from try and kill people. Mew, however, is a lot more interesting. Mew was basically one of the first Pokemon creations of Arceus. I'm pronouncing it Arceus. Fight me. Actually, please don't. Mew helped aid the evolutionary process in terms of Darwinian evolution. Pokemon were having issues like growing and changing according to their environment, so Mew helped them. Now Mew's current role is to help protect the Kanto region, and all mythicals seem to have a shrine dedicated to them. So I've decided to give them a shrine maiden of sorts. And yes, this can even be a trans woman or a non-binary. They just need to be born a girl. And that is the only requirement. Current shrine maiden is a girl named Usagi. Yes, I am naming every every shrine maiden after a magical girl. Anyway, the shrine maiden in Kanto is currently named Usagi. And that is actually the drawing. That's actually the girl in the drawing. Her name is Usagi. Her name was originally going to be Mami, as in Mami Tomoe, the girl who was beheaded by Charlotte in Madoka Magica. Spoilers. But I decided that Usagi was a better name because of the hair. I think I covered pretty much everything I set out to cover, so I'm just going to let this drawing finish. And this is the final product. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you whenever I post next. The next region video should be on the Johto region. See ya.